Make America Healthy Again movement made it their sole aim to roll back. And they do brilliantly on many factors, but the one thing they miss is the one major factor which they've overlooked and could bring the whole thing down if they don't address it.
Sam and Kit Warren-Russell, who really took skincare into their own hands.
Twin brothers from the UK who are taking the skincare industry by storm.
Sam is a nuclear astrophysicist, and Kit is a geophysicist and author.
A Notre Dame grad and his twin brother are looking to revolutionize skin health.
The two launched a 2-year intensive research study.
Two very smart guys who knew all about bad skin at a very early age.
That woman at the end was our mum, and really she's the face which launched 1,000 questions for us.
I want to talk about what MAHA, the movement we talked about in another of our videos, what MAHA misses. So we talked about why we're supporting its movement for ending chronic disease, the chronic disease epidemic that's massively exploding across the Western world, and it's not seen in the third world, which is quite a contradiction in the understanding of how amazing our healthcare system is here compared to the third world and people who don't have access to it. So what I want to do now is talk about the massive oversight that MAHA is doing. So let's lead up to it. MAHA itself is, well, we've been in Washington, DC, talking to and working with a lot of the people who are involved in this, because, and we said it in our other video, it started because of our mum's story. Do you want to give a really quick overview before we go into what MAHA not only misses, but unless it takes it into account, it just won't succeed?
Yeah. Let's okay, I'll give a really quick overview of our mum's story. So basically, when we were teenagers, I think it was, our mum suddenly came out all over her face in these rashes. It started actually just around her mouth, and they wouldn't go away. They were really tenacious and they stuck around for ages. So eventually, when things like that just keep happening, you go to the doctors. So she went to the GP and the doctors, and I think at the time they didn't really know what it was, but they gave her some creams and they suggested natural cosmetics. And the more she used natural cosmetics, or supposedly natural cosmetics, and the more she used these creams, which turned out later to have steroids in them, the more these problems just got worse and just kept coming back with more aggression and all over her face like never before. So then when these problems stick around and they make you so self-conscious, and I remember our mum not wanting to do things like come to the school to pick us up, go out and see people, when they start eking away, chipping away at your daily life like that, they suddenly become, actually, because it seems such a small thing on the face of it, but the daily impact is so big. It really impacted our mum's life, and I remember us seeing this secondhand. And it's not nice seeing someone like that, or someone you love in pain, is it? So that was the start. We always say that our mum was the face that launched 1,000 questions, using the analogy of the Troy story of Helen being the face that launched 1,000 ships. I just like that quote.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll tell the full story in another one, which we have everywhere in all of our talks and everything.
Okay, Sam, I'll cut to the chase there because that was going on too long. But basically, this led us to doing loads of research into, firstly, our mum's problems. And what we found were two huge scandals. So the first scandal was that actually our mum wasn't a medical anomaly, some kind of genetic predisposition to these diseases, which really was quite rare. She was actually joined by millions and millions and millions of other people all across the world, suffering in silence and actually preventably with these skin problems. So we found evidence of a skin allergy epidemic raging across the Western world, which was only getting worse. And this led us also to find out also that there was a chronic disease epidemic raging across the Western world as well. And the second scandal we found was, do you want me to say that?
Yeah, well, that's a good point, okay, to where we talk about MAHA. So we, many years ago, uncovered this scandal of the massive rise in skin allergies and diseases in the Western world that shouldn't be happening because we don't see it in the third world and these remote places where they don't even have access to amazing medical advances. So this shouldn't be happening. And we realized that there must be something in our environment that is causing this. And so when we found out about MAHA, when they became big around the election in of RFK, where he sort of coined the phrase, when we found out about it, the same goals they had were what we had, because we had uncovered this even bigger, not just skin, chronic skin diseases, but the chronic disease epidemic in general. And you've done stats in the other video that are absolutely horrific. But so MAHA focuses on the environment and the lifestyle things that are happening to us that are causing these chronic diseases. And they talk almost mainly, or very in a huge majority, about ultra processed food. So, and they're right, ultra processed food, everyone's eating these horrible chemicals in their food. But there's one even bigger thing that they've missed out that we talk about, and you mentioned it there. If MAHA doesn't address this massive overlooked factor, then they won't succeed in rolling back the chronic disease epidemic. So, Kit, release what that factor is, the massive scandal.
Well, our big thing is we're saying that the one overlooked and neglected factor, which everyone misses, including Make America Healthy Again, the whole movement, is damaged skin and the role of cosmetics in damaging the skin, which we've shown the reason we were published or featured in the Washington Post and the reason we were invited to talk in front of Congress people in Washington, D.C. was because we showed for the first time that if you have damaged skin, this could lead to heart problems, to lung problems, and to brain problems. So the one thing which everyone misses and they overlook is the vital importance of the skin. So this skin allergy epidemic could not just be some isolated epidemic, but it could be crucial and integral to the whole chronic disease problem. And
like, yeah, and to simplify before we finish. So like you said, it's not separate. The fact of people are destroying their skin every day and have these skin diseases and allergies, it's not only just bad for their skin, but for their whole body. And it could be, in your research, is showing that it's a major factor in the chronic disease epidemic that the movement of Make America Healthy Again, that's their main aim to solve.
Exactly. So to sum up in 20 seconds, Make America Healthy Again movement made it their sole aim to roll back the chronic disease epidemic, which is also our sole aim. And they do brilliantly on many factors, but the one thing they miss is how the skin, damaged skin, and the damage that cosmetics are doing to the skin could be the one major factor which they've overlooked and could bring the whole thing down if they don't address it.